Have you ever wondered why King Slowking, the wealthiest and wisest king in the entire forest, was found sitting on his grand throne at midnight with soft tears rolling down his round cheeks? Why would a king who possessed everything he ever wanted be so completely heartbroken right at bedtime? The forest was usually a place of absolute peace, painted in deep shades of emerald green and midnight blue, where the sweet, comforting scent of wild berries hung in the night air. Our favorite little buddy Pikachu, along with a few tired Pokémon friends, were already snuggling down into a patch of soft, pillowy moss, ready to drift off to sleep. But high up in the castle, the glowing windows revealed a mystery that kept the whole woods awake. King Slowking had just discovered a magical power known as the Golden Touch, a gift that turned every single thing he brushed his fingers against into solid, gleaming gold. At first, it seemed like the most wonderful blessing in the world, and Pikachu's eyes had gone wide with absolute wonder when he saw the first gray rocks turn to sparkling treasure. But as the silver moonlight began to pour through the castle windows, that beautiful blessing turned into something very different, leaving everyone to wonder what terrifying secret was hidden behind the king's newfound wealth. The morning had started with so much excitement, long before the tears began to fall. King Slowking was famous for his great wisdom, but he had one little weakness that everyone in the forest knew about. He loved shiny, golden things just a bit too much. While wandering through his grand, moss-covered gardens that afternoon, the Round King had spotted a mysterious, glittering star-shaped berry hidden deep inside a bush. Without thinking, he took a slow, sleepy bite, and suddenly a warm hum of magic rushed through the air. With a soft tap of his hand against a plain gray stone, a bright flash of light erupted, and right before his eyes, the rock transformed into solid, heavy gold. King Slowking gasped in absolute delight, immediately tapping a wooden twig to create a sparkling golden wand, and then tapping the falling autumn leaves to create a bright, shimmering path of treasure. Pikachu had cheered, fascinated by the beautiful magic, but neither of them realized that this wonderful gift was about to become a major problem. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, a strange feeling began to grow in the king's stomach, raising a brand new question that would soon test his wisdom to its absolute limit. King Slowking was absolutely thrilled with his new powers, but he completely forgot how big and clumsy he could be when he was excited. He tried to do a joyful little kingly jig to celebrate his fortune, but he lost his balance, his heavy feet sliding across the smooth grass. Feeling quite hungry after his dance, the Round King reached out to grab a big, juicy citrus berry from a nearby table to satisfy his roaring appetite. The very moment his large fingers brushed against the soft fruit, it instantly hardened, transforming from a sweet snack into a heavy, solid ball of cold gold. Forgetting it was no longer real food, Slowking tried to take a big, enthusiastic bite, resulting in a loud metallic click that bounced right off his royal teeth. He stumbled backward in surprise, slipping backward on his own shiny golden path, which caused his oversized crown to slide down and cover his eyes completely. He rolled like a giant, fluffy bowling ball right into a soft bush, leaving Pikachu to cover his mouth with both paws to muffle his adorable giggles. But the humor of the moment quickly faded as the king struggled to stand. Realizing that a much bigger and far more dangerous challenge was heading straight toward them, the sun had completely set now, and King Slowking was growing incredibly hungry and terribly thirsty. But every time he tried to sip cool river water, the liquid instantly froze into crunchy golden ice. Suddenly, the heavy castle doors creaked open, and out ran his dearest little friend, a tiny toad Jeppy, who wanted nothing more than to give the sad, tired king a giant bedtime hug. Slowking panicked, his heart racing as he realized that if he touched Toad Jeppy, his sweet friend would turn into a cold, lifeless golden statue. He gasped out a breathless warning, waving his hands in the air, while Pikachu instantly sprang into action to save the day without a single bit of fighting or loud noise. Standing a safe distance away, Pikachu concentrated deeply and slammed his tail against the ground with a super soft, controlled energy. The gentle vibration traveled up a nearby tree trunk, shaking a branch overhead and sending a perfectly ripe, juicy berry falling directly into Slowking's open mouth, completely hands-free. As the sweet, refreshing juices filled his tummy, a wave of realization washed over the wise king, changing his heart completely. Real wealth wasn't shiny metal or glittering treasure. Real wealth was food, safety, and the love of the friend standing right beside him. With all his might, he wished the greedy magic away. And sensing his pure change of heart, the golden spell softly faded into the night air when the clock finally struck midnight. King Slowking was indeed sitting on his grand throne with soft tears rolling down his round cheeks. But they were no longer tears of sadness or fear. They were tears of pure relief and happiness because his dangerous golden touch was completely gone, and his beloved castle was soft, cozy, and normal once again. The wise king looked down at Pikachu and Togepi, realizing that he was surrounded by the truest wealth in the entire world, the safety and love of his wonderful friends. The entire forest grew deeply quiet as silver moonlight poured softly through the castle windows, casting long, peaceful shadows across the room. King Slowking sank deep into his plush, velvety throne, his heavy eyelids fluttering closed as the warm evening breeze whispered through the trees. Pikachu gently pulled a warm, fluffy blanket over the king's large shoulders, letting out a long, sleepy yawn of his own as he snuggled down into the soft fabric. The lanterns in the castle grew dim, and everything felt completely safe, warm, and wonderfully cozy. Let your mind drift away into peaceful dreams, little trainer, and sleep tight. If you loved drifting off to sleep with Pikachu and King Slowking tonight, please take a quiet moment to subscribe and like the video for many more magical bedtime adventures together. Good night, and sweet dreams.